Well, then, welcome everyone. We're going to be doing a Club Baroness podcast for you tonight for the Phantom Dust Spring 2020 Tag Tournament. We're 2 rounds through Swiss, so we're halfway there. Joining me tonight, I've got Snow Schmidt.
Yo.
Evolution.
Yeah.
And I'm still not clear on how I'm supposed to say your gamer tag. Is it AlesDvran?
Yeah.
Alice?
Yeah. Don't worry.
Alice in Wonderland. Okay, got it. And then later we'll have Affin joining us after he is able to smother his children. So he should be on here in 20, 30
if
minutes.
you're listening, Bregan is only joking.
Hey, I may be joking, but it's Affin's kids, man. I don't say what he does or doesn't do. All right, well, let's jump into it. Format's going to be pretty straightforward. It's going to go more or less how we've usually done it. We're going to talk about some of the previous rounds' games, make predictions for the next upcoming round, and maybe make some predictions for the end of Swiss and the end of the tournament. We'll talk just a little bit of trash, share some memes, have some fun. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. We'll start with round one. If you guys want, you can also pull it up. You've had it linked to you. The standings, the little spreadsheet we have. I'm going to pull it up now for folks here. Let's just start out actually with a topic beforehand. Let's talk about what's been your biggest surprise so far in the first 2 rounds. What would you say has been your biggest surprise so far, Evo?
I really liked seeing that annoying gift. Lingering Flame and Angels. What defense is that called? I never used it.
Guardian Angel.
Guardian Angel.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to see.
Thanks.
I'm surprised, I guess in the form of your question, I'm surprised it worked in a tournament match.
He pulled that off on me in a pickup match. What made you so confident to do that, Alice, in an actual tournament match?
My partner, he has the arsenal to do the stuns, essentially.
And you did that in game 5, right? Like that was win or lose
Yeah,
the
that
series.
was
You
my-
played it in game 5.
Yeah, that was.
You were
the
that-
strategy.
You were that confident in it, or were you just wanted to play it?
No. I was confident, but I was scared about playing that.
Well, I made you a personalized meme because of that arsenal, which I've shared on screen for others. If you want to see it, it's in the the chat on Facebook. You can see it.
I mean, yeah, that's.
It was well
I
done.
would agree with that meme. It caught me off guard. I remember back before I actually started playing with the community, I found like that combo online, and I tried pulling it off so many times that I could just never get it to work.
What's been the most surprising thing for you so far in this tournament, Alice?
For me, was the Snows versus Xanxus Zeus match in Palace.
That win they had was pretty crazy.
Yeah, with the Bregan.
Big props.
Thank you. We kind of went into that round obviously feeling intimidated, but with just the idea of playing straightforward, and I think we made that decision probably 5 minutes before the match on what to play on Palace, and we just got the early game pressure. And when Xanxus threw up the Quantum Amp at the beginning of the match, I had already hit enough that I was going to Bravery, and so it only helped from there to keep railgun pressure down.
Yeah, well, I had a question. What made you decide to put voids in there in an arsenal that's always so strapped for skills whenever it's a bravery deck? What made you decide to put voids that are a temporary 15-second buff in there?
So originally it was 1 void, 1 lightning speed, and I took the lightning speed out for a second void. And I was running it, and even I tested it without them in there, and I noticed that it almost made no difference for me in timing. and if I had him in there, if I got a bad draw for whatever reason, and I was just getting aura after aura instead of bravery, it gave me a chance to stall at least a little bit. So
Okay. I didn't dislike it. It's just I thought it was an odd choice, but it's a good line of reasoning there. I like it. What for
me-
you then has been the most surprising thing so far in this tournament?
honestly, like it's probably Daffy and Ebony's performance. Like I knew that they were going to come in and be like this powerhouse, but I think just Daffy's aggression combined with like Ebony's methodicalness to the game just combos so well for the amount of pressure that they can lay down and just destroy most people in their path. Obviously, they went 3-2 against Xanxes, well, 2-3 against Xanxes and Zexes, but that was pretty close.
I have to agree pretty wholeheartedly on that one. They're actually a team that, I would have rated them pretty mid-tier, but they're both solid players. I didn't foresee them having their styles work that well together, and you're right. How well they played versus Xanxes and Zexus, and then the way they just rolled over round 2 as well has been really impressive to me. And their round 3 rematch is going to be a lot of fun to watch as well. Spoilers. All right, let's talk about some of these round 1 matches then. We've actually got both of you from the first match on the list there. We've got Alice and we've got Schmidt. Why don't you tell us about your match that you guys had?
It was a 1v1 between Dan and them.
Oh, that's right. I'd forgotten about
Yeah.
that.
Due to technical issues, it ended up being a 1v1, and starting with Rise, me and him continued to switch out. And so Rise took Palace to start out, and we made that decision a couple days in advance. And we just kind of wanted to play it straightforward, play things that we were confident in. Like you saw, I played Bravery in that matchup as well. And just tried to play things straightforward. So did I. And so we just tried to play the game for what it is instead of trying doing something fancy or exotic to try and win it out.
And which of you was the one that dropped a game? It was you, right?
No, it was Rise on Sign.
Oh, yeah, it was Rise on Sign. What happened there? It didn't look pretty. What happened?
The memory deck.
Yeah, I think he just tried to do. I forget which arsenal he was playing, but after he went and put on some pressure, he ran out of steam, and Dan followed him home and just laid down intense pressure and took him out of the game.
Looks like he was pulling a bit of a Kanye there with the Fire Gehenna.
Yep.
Who?
This is what I remember.
Uh-huh.
True. Well, we already mentioned a little bit. Let's talk about the next one on the list. We had the Daffy and Ebony versus Xanxes and Zexus match, which was so good. Evo, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you remember and your thoughts on that match?
I thought it was going to be pretty straightforward. But, Daffy was going down quite a bit for the most part of the matches, but you can never count the game over with Ebony making a pickup. He's quite good at that. And there were a couple times where I think Highway was one of them where I figured it was done for, and then Ebony and Daffy came back and turned it around. And all in all, they really shocked me because I think my initial thoughts on how they would perform together, we talked about it, was I didn't think they'd make it very far. Dual cartwheelers, both somewhat defensive type players, and Daffy ended up turning it around. He's just playing off of Ebony's slow build style and keeping them busy. So it was nice to see a bit of change of pace.
Yeah, I know you mentioned it earlier too, Schmidt. Did you have more you wanted to add about that match specifically?
No, I think Evo hit it right on the head there with Daffy coming out of nowhere with just the aggressive play styles and keeping the amount of pressure so that Ebony can hold up to do what he needs to do. I definitely am looking forward to round 3 because of it, though.
Yeah, round 3 is going to have a rematch between those two, so that one should be a lot of fun. Did you have anything you wanted to add to that one, Alice?
No.
All right, and then still on you. Did you see the Mirage and Darcia versus Math and Madman series?
Me, yes. They almost win Palace. As you say, this is their strongest map.
Yeah, they did well there, but it wasn't quite enough for them to pull it out. They won
got
that.
greedy in that map.
Yeah, they got greedy, and it felt like it kind of snowballed against them afterwards. Like they just lost their momentum.
Yeah, player was down, and they went for the flame sword hit instead, and that's what messed it up on Palace for sure.
I meant like the entire series after that. It was like they needed that
But
steam on Palace, and then once they stumbled there, they just kind of like lost it.
That ball started rolling somewhere, and specifically, I'm talking about their Palace loss.
Yeah. Do you have anything that you remember that you want to add, Schmidt?
No, I mean, I kind of agree. Well, I think Palace was definitely close. I think Mad Math kind of played mechanically better, but once y'all agree, like, the snowball hit, it just kept going.
You had to make it a snowball,
It was a snowball before I got to it.
huh? No, it was just a ball, Mr. Snow Rye or Snow Schmidt.
Whoa,
You know who you are.
whoa. I'm going to take offense to that for calling my partner's name.
Sounds like you're like oppressing his culture.
Yeah.
Was everything going to be a little snow? Jeez.
Sorry, I mute my mic. I'm eating.
Yeah, shut up. All right, next match then we had Nathan and Wolf versus Murder Mastodon and Kamikaze Mario. Who remembers that one pretty well? That one's escaping my memory.
I remember memory lapse. Nothing else.
Oh yeah, the Nathan and Wolf special. From what I recall, it was a pretty quick series. Murder and Mario laid down the law, and they did it pretty quickly.
Yeah, it was 10 minutes and 37 seconds. I'm looking at it now.
Oh, thank you, Evo. Got us there. Yeah, that was a pretty brutal one. Nathan and Wolf, I think right now are still struggling to shake off some of the rust. They looked a little bit better in round 2. We'll have to see how they do in some of the future rounds. But that round 1 was pretty rough for them. And Murder and Mario, at least in my opinion right now, are looking by far like the best team. I thought they would be a good team, but, just above mid-tier, but they've really impressed me with their synergy and just how sharp they look so far, and they really did in round 1.
I mean, yeah, I completely agree with that. Murder Mario, I expected to be in the top, like the upper tier, but I didn't expect to be in first place right now. I mean, it's just working for them. They're doing play-by-play, and everything's working.
And to be honest, no other team really looks close to me right now either. So we'll have to see how that shakes out, if they keep that gap between the other teams or if it starts to close here as Swiss comes together. Right now, they look really good. Let's talk about even though
tomorrow, so we'll find out.
Yeah, even though they have exited the tournament, we'll talk about their matches, and then we'll talk about the matches that Evolution is filling in. But Kanye and Doom versus War Machine and Affin. If we had done this podcast in round 1, I would be saying similar things about Kanye and Doom as I just said about Murder and Mario. I also played them in a scrim before. It was like my first match coming back to Phantom Dust after not playing for a good while. Same with my partner. And they played really well together. Kanye and Doom were a tough team, and they would run 4 or 5 turbulences like every game and just take away all your toys. and they were pretty tough. And they clearly showed that versus War Machine and Affin as well.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you remember any of the stuff that War Machine and Affin tried to run, or how that played out?
Specifically, no. But even if War Machine and Affen, I feel like played the most non-meme, straightforward arsenals and just tried to play to their best ability, I think in that matchup, Kanye and Doom are mechanically just so solid. In that matchup, that they outplayed War Machine and Affen, not including the arsenals, just outplayed them.
Yeah, I can agree with that. It was going to be a tough bill for them to overcome no matter what. Does anybody else have anything else they want to add to their series? All right, moving on. Our last round one matchup was my match, Bregan and PDDCM versus Skaboss and Killer Mark. Evolution, do you remember that one?
No, I don't. I'm actually looking. I didn't see that on the page. Was it
I think
recorded?
it got posted.
No,
I thought it was.
It wasn't.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It wasn't
watching either.
recorded?
So we haven't seen a single Bregan match yet?
Wow. So Bregan, why don't
really?
you tell us about it?
Okay, I'll tell a little bit about it. Shoot, which was the game they won?
I'm looking at it right now.
Um,
You do not have it posted on your Facebook page.
Check the YouTube channel, see if it's there.
I am.
No, I
I
cannot
am.
find it there.
You never posted it, sir.
Wow, someone's hiding
Well,
something.
I can't record videos right now of Phantom Dust because my computer won't connect to Phantom Dust.
Who casted it?
If it was if we had a recording, it would have been from one of the other team.
I see. So somebody's got some hidden tech, and they don't want to share it with the community. I'm on to you, Bregan.
I ain't got any hidden tech. Let's see. I'm trying to see if because I would have discussed it with PD after the match. So I'm trying to see if I can find where we'd talked about it, because now I'm trying to remember it. My goodness. I remember other people's matches when I do their cast better than my own half the time. I think PD's actually sending me messages now trying to remind me because he's watching the stream. He says, oh, I remember now. Okay, so Palace and Highway, we played those two maps. They were pretty straightforward. We won both of those pretty hard. And then on Panorama, I ran a new arsenal that I hadn't quite tested fully. It was designed for Panorama, but the shields were all wrong. And they basically just ran train on me because I couldn't erase Ricochet Laser or Dance of Death. And so I just had Psycho Shells and was using like Psycho Burst. And it just didn't matter because I couldn't block enough of those, and they just ran train on me. And PD couldn't keep up with making the revives. And then I think the last game was lame.
Finally got so heavy, even PD couldn't carry you.
Yeah, it was really just the shields. Like, it was just a really bad shield choices because I was running Psycho Faith and I just had Psycho Shells, which is, they're good shields, but on Panorama, you have to be able to respond to and erase enough Ricochet Lasers or Dance of Death. And I couldn't get rid of either, and they ran both. So it didn't go well. That one was a pretty good series overall. Let's work our way up from the bottom of round two, because I feel like the highlight is at the top. Or should we start at the top? No, there's several highlights of round two. We'll just start at the top.
Well, I was going to say, do you want to focus on the scrim match?
Well, we could do the scrim match Evo. We could do the round one Evo match. Go ahead and take it then. Evolution and Sandal, who have come back to fill in for us.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Here, I'll share. I made. I've got 2 memes for this actually. I'll share one now, and then I'll share another. It's good to have Sandal back. We've got the science nerds returning to their former glory, and we got to see them take on Affin and War Machine. It's a shame Affin's not in here to bitch about it.
He should be here any minute now.
Yeah, hopefully soon. We'll come back to it whenever. Maybe we'll come back to that one once he's in here because I do want to hear him go on about that. We'll just say that they are back. We'll talk about why. I guess we can just tackle that now. So after Doom and Kanye lost their round 2, they dropped from the tournament. We don't have to go into huge details, but we can go ahead and talk about that matchup then, and then we'll come back to the Evolution versus Affin whenever we have them both here to complain at each other. So let's talk about that series. I know Evolution doesn't want to talk about it as much, so why don't you take it away for us, Snow Schmidt?
Well, look, going into round 2, I think Doom and Kanye were definitely confident in themselves. They were playing good, and so were Murder and Mario. But I think they got in, and Murder and Mario they're such a solid team, and their arsenals, they're just really well built. Their mechanics are good. Their synergy as a team is really good, and I think that Doom and Kanye just kind of got overwhelmed at the beginning and never recovered. And like you kind of casted and commented on, I think Kanye kind of played the last Arsenal out of spite, in a sense. Like it felt definitely odd, and like he was just angry playing it.
Felt more like
Yeah, I think they
desperation,
went
right?
mental boom pretty fast. Like Doom was trying, but like Kanye clearly lost his cool early on because he got absolutely wrecked on Palace, complete zero factor, and then they were never in control on Highway. And after that, he basically just trolled Sign. But boy, that was a brutal series by Murder and Mario, or as he's now known, Essential Employee Mario. That was a rough
Oh, do you
one.
have that meme?
Yeah, I have it up, and I'm just about to put it in the chat right there.
Oh, well, that's a rough.
Oh yeah, you can see it on the stream.
No, where's mine?
That's a rough one.
Oh, the Essential Employee one? If you send it to me again, I'll put it up there.
I will. Hold on. 1 second. Okay. I'm about to share it to the chat.
What about you, Alice? What did you think of that match?
I impressed.
All right, it has been
So
shared.
how fast they got their skills erased in Highway with the violent change, I think. And
Yeah, they ended up violent changing him out on the end of that match. They played that one really well. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just that. But the other is I just agree with the others. They got a severe defeat in Palace, and and Saint was just
Basically just trolling your own partner. Yeah. Well, here I got one for Sign as well. Since we're talking about Sign, Kanye runs that Quantum Decay recall deck that Ebony had originally made popular. And he just like ran it as like almost like a protest, like he was pissed off, like it was just like he does in pickup games.
Dude,
And Doom's running
I'm not gonna
vibration.
bring
I
too
swear
much.
it's like he didn't even tell him, but it was just ridiculous, and it was absolutely broken. I mean, Palace and Highway, Murder and Mario just ripped him apart. On Sign, they were just giving it on a platter. You know, they didn't even have to work for it on Sign. You had something you were saying, Evo?
Well, 2 things. Like, I forget who casted the match, but you know you're
It was me and PD.
dominating. You know you're dominating when you can just sit in a lift and fire lasers freely. Like Sign. But
Yeah, I said
if
that.
you ever carry any purples if you pop a single capsule, you can almost guarantee and almost strategize off it that Kanye will run Quantum Decay next match.
Are you looking at the one that I put up now?
Yeah, it's a really good one. That's funny. I'm looking at the guy in the background like, what the fuck?
I should have captioned that as Doom. Or no.
I made this meme. I don't know if anyone wants to see it or not, but I thought this was very comical.
I mean, I think that shouldn't actually be Doom. I think that should just be a community wondering what's going on.
Okay. There you go. I like this one a lot.
I wonder, is Sandal watching the stream?
That's a dick move, bro. That's a real dick move, bro. I hate you.
Oh, who left?
I hope Bregan. Yep, Bregan got
Oh,
kicked out of his
Bregan.
own
Hello,
fucking
can you hear
Discord.
me again?
Yep, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry, it disconnected somehow. I don't know. It said I was still connected, but then I couldn't hear anybody. Why don't you tell us a little bit about you and Sandal rejoining the tournament together?
No. I think your meme says it all.
Oh, did you like that one?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was clever. Oh, did you think
right.
I was kidding about not having nothing to say, huh? No, I'm serious.
No, I was actually just saying, yeah, tell us a little bit about you and Sandal playing together again. I'm excited to have you both in the tournament together. I think that's one of my favorite teams we've ever had.
I'm just excited for more of your memes.
You can just feel the salt bleeding out of you.
Well, I mean, yeah, the memes are just gonna flow, especially if tournament. Are you kidding me?
No, we're good. We're good.
What do you think about it, Schmidt?
I think I'm glad that somebody actually joined in, so we didn't have to do the buy round and figure all of that out. I was very intimidated when you put up the poll saying should we give them their points because it said 1.5, knowing that me and Rise are at 2 points. And so me and Ryan were talking, and we had almost put money on the fact that we were going to have to play them next round. And we were terrified. There ain't no two ways about it. But I'm glad, especially when I saw the Phantom Dust arsenal. I have been trying to convince Rise to let me build something that synergizes with that for, I think, since I've started this game. But he won't do.
Well,
he won't
Sandal
do it.
fucking ruined it, so we didn't get to play it.
I know, and I even said that. I was like, "Why did?"
And my argument was, he's popping all your capsules. It's fine. You're gonna get them back when I use Phantom Dust. But no,
I thought
gotta use
pop
the
capsules
judge.
didn't respond
No,
actually.
pop capsules don't respond.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Because there's a violent change Phantom Dust.
Erased
combo that you can
capsules do, but if you pop them, they don't.
I forgot. Well, whatever. Still, we could have won. We did win, but we could have won with Phantom Dust being used.
I mean, I was still impressed to see a 30 damage judge of the nuke in like twice in a row immediately. So either way, it's
I
impressive.
still just love my line about it. Like Affin just like jumps in the pool and takes a dump, just like a protest. Let me just get in there and befoul myself. Oh man, dang Dang it, Affin, why aren't you here for me to make fun of you?
Yeah, he's 12 minutes late.
All right, we'll move on to the next match, and I guess I got to narrate this one too, because we did actually try to have a recording for this, and for whatever reason, I guess it didn't take. Here, what do we got? Evo's sharing a meme. Is it something to make fun of me?
If it's the one from earlier, no.
I don't know
No,
what that one's supposed to be relevant to.
It's Affin Show standing in front of the judge of Anubis.
Okay, well, I'll put it up there.
It's funnier when you get the reference. No shields, just running in there with a 30 damage judge of Anubis.
All right, so the next match, like I was saying, we did try to get it recorded. It was Math and Madman versus myself and PDDCM. Palace was pretty similar story. We ran it pretty clean. Wasn't super close, but it wasn't like a total dumpstering. And then they chose Highway for their second map, and they played like 5 memory lapses. This is the map that they won. And me and PD both spawned next to each other on one side of the map, and they both spawned next to each other on the upper side of the map, like up on the long highway, and then one down below at the bottom of the staircase. And so every time they laid one of those memory lapses, we would have to truck from like one corner of the map over to the opposite corner to go get it. And I was running Tiger Strength lasers, and I got this like bonehead draw where I got like 10 aura, all 5 of my shields, and a laser blade. I couldn't get anything usable even whenever we did pick up a memory lapse. And I spent so much time running back over there trying to get them. You know, I never had anything. So our offense was pretty low overall. And then we finally picked up. It was like the 4th or 5th memory lapse they'd laid because they had at least 2 each. And I died as we had popped out because we popped out Math, and then I died at his like last health bar. He was like 1 health left, caught me with a Rian just barely, and PD was picking up the last environmental, and he had cartwheeled a Sign of Saints out of Madman, and he was going to be safe to go down and make the pickup. But one of the walls on the upper highway broke and then like floated half a mile away to deal 2 damage to him, and he died.
Oh, that's a shame.
It was a pretty ridiculous series of events, but it was well played by them. You know, that just laying a memory lapse and making a team walk all the way across the map to get it can be very effective, and they did benefit from where their spawn was for that, but they did it well. It was a good execution. And then after that, I think we played Lane and Panorama. I'm not sure after that. Maybe if PD's watching, he can remind me. But he hasn't done so, so we'll go ahead and move on. Another one of our highlights from round 2 was Xanxus and Zexus versus Rise and Schmidt. Alice, why don't you tell me about that one?
I mean, to be fair, does anyone even remember anything but Palace?
Oh, no. I'll tell you that. I'll be the first person to.
Yeah, what other maps did you even play? I don't remember.
I know we played Pano, Highway. Couldn't tell you the last map.
City, I think?
Yeah, it was City and City. Yep. Yep, because I tried running Bravery again. Yep.
What happened on some of those? Give me the rundown.
Pano, we tried something new that we haven't really put together. It was Violent Change, Reduced Entropy. I should have waited till I got Psycho Knife to Soft Hang.
Hold on, I gotta pause you there. Are you sure it was Reduced Entropy? Because Violent Change doesn't work.
Correct. It was Reduced Entropy. I didn't have it down when he hit it.
Okay.
So I went to go soft hang it, but I didn't have a Psycho Knife, so he jumped right up and immediately took it. By the time I got my second one, both Xanxus and Zexus had too much pressure on me to do anything about it. And by the time Rise got there, he had me in his hand when he died. No, he died right next to me. He didn't actually pick me up. Highway. I mean, we each had we were split up on sides, and I had both Xanxus and Zexus. Oh, hang on. Vicious balance, not violent change. You were actually ready, though. Thanks. Rise just texted
Wish
me.
my
That's why I
wife
knew.
would say that.
Wow. And so I charged to try and get close to Rise so that we could regroup and try and do something together, but I got double teamed, and then it just fell apart from there. City, I got the crap spawn. I waited till I got 8 aura so that I could try and hit.
Oh, I think I remember that. They just
and-
absolutely punished you.
Yep, I was waiting to answer your question, by the way, Bregan, because you asked this. I wait till I get 8 aura so I can use Railgun and Excalibur. And so.
I think you bravaried at 5.
Yeah, but I had stuff spawning and I was pretty confident. No, I should have bravaried at 7, I think.
Yeah, you bravaried at 5 because we were commenting on how quick of a bravery it was.
Either way, I didn't get in there in time. Rise was getting pressure down. I was getting pressure down, and it just fell apart from there. And that was that. But Palace, like we talked about earlier, we just decided to play straightforward, try and put as much pressure as possible. And I believe it was Zexus that was closest spawn to me in Rise, and Zexus was on the other side of the tree, building up for vibration. And so I just said I was going to focus Zexus. I got him down, and then we just tried going after Zexus. He got the pickup after we retreated, which you commented on, Bregan. Actually, you and Affin completely disagreed on that, which was interesting to find out.
What did we disagree on? And I'm sure Affin was wrong.
I'm pretty sure as well.
So when Zexus was going for the pickup, you said that I should have shot a railgun, kept more pressure down.
Absolutely.
Instead of, looking back on it, I should have, but we decided to play it a little safer than we should have.
If we're talking about Phantom Dust tactics and it's a disagreement between me and Affin, just take the safe bet.
Oh yeah, I know who I should listen to. It's obviously Athens. And so
the only guy who's lost 3 games in round 2. Listen to that one.
Yeah. And
0-9.
Right. We regrouped. Killed. We went after Xanxus because we had realized he was pretty close to vibration. If not, he was already on it. And he started laying a little bit of pressure down on the Rise. But once we got in, I laid a little bit of pressure. He tried to go and regroup with Zexus. Zexus dropped down. And I killed Xanxus when he was up near Zexus' base. Kept pressure down. He got the pickup, they switched, and then Xanxus just had too much pressure to try and get the pickup. And he ultimately died after I had died. And tried shooting at Rise, but failed to realize I had been picked up, I guess? And I shot him in the back of the head with a railgun.
Well, it was well played, and I'm hoping to see more of that coordinated set of arsenals between you guys and see you guys make a push for that middle 4 or maybe even top 4. Would be really interesting to see you guys once we get into the new playoff system, which we'll talk about. We'll talk about that, I guess, once we finish round 2 before we talk about round 3. Alice, did you have anything you wanted to add to that matchup?
No, I'm just glad that they win Palace. I'm just hoping to win more.
Are you hoping to get a rematch against them where you can actually play?
Well, just an exhibition. I have no problem with taking the Dan versus them as official.
Mm-hmm. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. We had the next match was War Machine and our favorite punching bag, Affin, versus Nathan and Wolf. Why don't you take that one for me, Evolution?
Who was it again? I heard Nathan and Wolf. Sorry.
Versus War Machine and Affin.
Oh, so I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick. That's my main goal here. But this team has been around for like 16 years. And if you're not prepared to run a judgment or a crush in your arsenals against them, then you just need to stop. Like, they have not changed their arsenals in 16 years, guys. So I was a little surprised that they lost. I mean, Palace could have went either way. There were lots of good hits. Wolf was basically doing everything. So that was pretty good. But after that, man, like, City, I could have told you before even they press start to play the match. They're going to run memory laps. Bring Rian. And he uses, what, bravery decision, I think? Was it bravery?
It's like
No,
the worst
it was,
possible.
it was like bravery and blazing.
Yeah, it was a bravery blazing.
I'm amazed, man. Like 16 years, same arsenals, give it the program. So props to Nathan and Wolf. Also props to them, SC and Affin, for giving the cane to the old man on lane. They definitely took a beating and still came out on top. But Affin, you had shields, you don't use them. You had an Arc of Fire, you didn't use them. You overwrote attacks instead of.
I still contend that they win lane if he just stands on a building and fires Arc of Fire.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the tournament jitters or what it is. I don't get it. But I made the comment, sometimes you wish you just like snatch the controller out their hand and play for them. Like I wish that was the case for like Lane and City. But
I mean, yeah. When I heard that in the cast, I didn't want to be that guy, but I was like, at this point, watching this exact moment, I don't disagree.
Wanting to take the controller away from him, or my response?
Yeah, no, the controller. It's just, it was painful. Like, I get me and Bryce aren't in like the top tier, but there's just some like common things that like it's just simple that you don't do.
I don't
Also,
know.
War
It has
Machine
seemed like
had,
Affin has had some jitters or something because he played better than this in the 1v1. Like, if you
Well,
watched him in the
Affin said it before,
1v1.
he's not a tag player. He prefers Battle Royale. So I'll give him that.
Well,
And then, I can't.
He just played straight up better in the 1v1 though. Like, he had shields and he used them. He seemed to be sensible about his attacks, even if his arsenals were weird. Whereas here, I see him just like missing basic stuff. Like, I need to have a mid-range attack and I need to just throw it at people so my partner can get hits. And he's not doing some of those simple things, which I know he can do.
Yeah, I'm not discrediting them. And especially like War Machine, like he jumped a really nice Rian on City. And 2 times in that match he died next to his partner trying to pick him up. So, there's simple things about this game, guys. If you have shields, use them. If you have attacks, use them. They set up combos. And if you're about to fucking die, get closer to your teammate. Like, that is the biggest issue. Get closer.
I think a lot of people just underestimate how important it is to have like a mid-range attack or say a slide laser and just get in range and shoot it.
Yeah.
Like, that's all you have to do. You don't have to even set it up like, wait for the right moment. Like, no, just get in range and shoot the damn thing. And while you're shooting, your partner should have an option to either score a hit or they get hit by yours because they're trying to dodge your partner.
Yep.
Like it's called pressure. You know, there's times to set up just the right attack or just the right angle, and there's times where you just need to hit the A button over and over and over from a good spot. That's it.
And
And I
truthfully,
think a lot of players underestimate that.
you could be the worst player in the game, but if you know how to rapidly hit a button, you can win a lot of games just by your opponent either having to take the hit or dodge it, and they take a hit from your teammate.
Yep. Yep. You don't have to be very good to just know where your range is on Palace that you could hit a bullet of fire or a slide laser, you know, and just stand there and fire it. And that can improve a lot of players' gameplay by a significant margin. Get your mid-range attack, get in a mildly decent spot, and just hit the button. Even if they're behind cover, hit the button, and they're hiding behind cover, and then your partner can maybe go smack them with a sword.
I only say Snowrise because I play with him out of everyone else that has this issue, and he probably gets the blunt of most of my like rage. Because every time we're on the same team, I'm like, I try to do it calmly, but I can slowly even hear myself like more and more attitude coming out. I'm like, hey, bro, you're on 2 health. Think you can maybe move a little closer for me? Don't fucking die up top. I won't make that pickup. Hey, man, I'm over here getting double teamed. I see you have reds in your hand. Want to make a move? And like I start off every time we're on the same team at the 10-minute mark being nice and like, okay, this is what you got to do. Watch out for this. And by about 3 minutes left in the game, I'm cussing them out. So pay attention. I'm an asshole, but pay attention. If you're ever playing with me and I'm a dickhead to you, I promise I'm not doing it on purpose.
All right, we got 2 more matches to recap round 2 then. This one, I think, is almost everybody's favorite so far. Mirage and Darcia versus Dan and yours truly here that we have with us, Alice.
That was
Absolutely
a very fun match.
fantastic meme lord match.
Thanks, man.
You gave Sandal and I something to try to beat, so thank you.
What was your favorite match of that round, Alice?
For me,
Mm-hmm.
at the beginning was sane because the combo, but after I saw Dan's record, because I didn't know what happened with Dan in Highway. Highway became my favorite match.
Highway was so funny, man. It started off with him trying to decide should he friendship you or arm roast you, and I'm screaming in my head arm roast, and I see the friendship come out like, no, don't do that. And then I see him in the Mephisto's pack for like it had to be 20 seconds, just scrolling.
Half of the screen. Half of the screen. I'm a Mephisto pack Huey.
It's like he's like, but wait, there's only 4 things on this list. Where's the attack?
And I wondered, like, did he only have 1 Rian? The one he threw away?
Spam the Rian. Yeah, I have
No, there was none on his bench. His bench was...
How Rian works, and he just dropped at the beginning the Rian.
Yeah, he threw it away in the beginning. That was his only attack?
Yeah.
It's like at some point you need to just like bite the bullet and pick something and move on, and he just didn't. He just stood there like, well, what do I do now?
I was scared in that highway match. I was not paying attention to him, but after I saw the record, I was just laughing.
Oh my goodness. He did well too on Sign, helping you set up the combo on Sign. I do have to give him some props there. That was pretty awesome.
In Frighten and in Panorama.
What was Panorama? What did you guys do on Pano? I forget.
Like
he was
gravity presses and...
Oh, yeah, it was the pressure gravity.
Remember okay, I gotta bring this up. So he held on to a cluster bomb for 19 capsules,
God.
and then overrode it for a rock shot. when he was down to like 8.
I thought it was an Excalibur.
No,
it was
cluster.
Either way, it hurt.
Oh, yeah.
It hurt my soul.
I need that good laugh.
Schmidt,
He
what else
got
you got for
pretty
that
well
matchup? You
also.
have
I
you
mean,
have more to
honestly,
add?
like the entire series, you get everything you wanted out of it. You get a lot of laughter. You see some misplays. You see some really good plays. I mean, I think it was just from watching it. I think it's the best series we're gonna watch, but I don't think it's going to be the most like I don't know how to describe this. Um, but like watching it, I think it's going to be the most entertaining series, probably the entire tournament.
I can agree with
They still
that.
have to prove some Arsenal.
That's gonna be pretty hard to top. I mean, we've had some
Challenge
good ones.
accepted.
We had the 99 Rians with Murder and Mario. We had Fairy Ring with Evolution, which we haven't talked about that one yet. I keep hoping that Affin will show up, but he's very late now.
Oh yeah.
We've had some good ones. All right, we'll do our last match for round 2 then. Sorry, all that laughing's got me coughing really bad now. Don't take me now, Rona. I need to
put the
live.
curse on you.
So we had Daffy and Ebony taking on Skaboss and Killer Mark. Why don't you tell me a bit about that one, Evo?
I play with Daffy and Skaboss all the time, and watching from Skaboss's perspective hurt a little bit. So everything went kind of like how a normal game would go, except for Highway. Daffy ran Bravery on Highway, and Skaboss didn't use, but just overwrote a Shatter and an Erase Shell while getting spammed with Decoy Railgun. And my heart kind of like split in two when I saw that. There's a lot of misplays that we've talked about so far, but how do you override a Shatter against Bravery Decision?
Yeah, that was, I felt like a gimme. If he had just gotten across the map and like maybe erased the railgun, he could have popped him out pretty easily. He had Shatter and Eliminate there.
Yeah. I believe he overwrote the Shatter for the Eliminate, and then overwrote the Eliminate with an Aura Particle.
Yeah.
And that hurt.
Something like that.
Like a little bit of my PD soul died in that match.
I've been saying it for a couple of tournaments now, but I still feel like Skaboss just needs to have a third party come in and just clean up all his arsenals for him. And that guy jumps up like a whole tier in my eyes if his arsenals are just better arsenals. Because mechanically, he's pretty good. And I feel like he just needs somebody to smack him every time he tries to add 17 and 18 skills. Like, no, stop it. 16, you're done. Take that out. Stop it.
Even some of my arsenals have like 17, but I can promise you, if it has a 17 number in it, there's a Mephisto's Pact in there, which is essentially Aura.
Or for me, it'll be an Angel's Tears.
Yeah.
Something like that. Do you have anything you want to add to that series, Alice?
No, nothing much. The last match, use that. The last match was pretty well done by Skaboss and Killer Mark, but nothing else.
Yeah, I was again just impressed with the pressure Daffy and Ebony were putting down, especially on popping capsules. Like they were really making it difficult to have arsenals work at all. I think they completely popped him out basically on Panorama, wasn't it?
Yeah. Anytime you ever play against Ebony, period, even if he's not running jank, you can, for the most part, assume that he's going to have a Diabolical in there or 2 Violent Changes. So you always have to be mindful of your capsules.
All right. Well, let's talk about Affin and War Machine versus Evolution and Sandal then, because we did have that. It was an exhibition match to replace the round 1 match. It ended with the same score, 3-0 in your favor. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you remember from that series, Snow?
Watching it, obviously we spawned in and started watching Evo's perspective, and I saw that Phantom Dust, and my heart went up. I was super excited to see it happen.
Did you guys see what name I put for it for the Arsenal?
Oh yeah, it was for the viewers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, awesome. So I wanted to see the Phantom Dust. I want to see it all. And then I saw the pressure being laid down on Sandal, and I was like, oh no, what are they going to do? And I see 30 damage come across my screen, and my heart just shrunk. I was like, oh no, he's going to kill him before that happens. And I saw it coming a mile away. And the second Affin decided to jump into that situation, I was like, oh no, please don't. Let it happen. And when he hit Affin with the 30 damage, I was like, dang, that was probably my one chance to see that. But then the rest of
Never
the
in my
time,
life
I
going to
mean,
get to see somebody just back to back Judge of Anubis somebody.
oh yeah, especially for 30 damage.
I think the
And then
first one
rest-
was for 20, and then the second one was for 30.
I
That might have
lost
been it, yeah.
I lost the voice, so I had to leave and come back.
Okay. But then after Palace, I mean, it was just straightforward, mechanically and arsenal wise. It was just a beatdown.
The Fairy Ring Arsenal they ran was really well done, I thought. It doesn't work as well versus jumpers, but they still pulled it off well.
Oh, it annihilates cartwheelers. It's so much
Mhm.
fun against cartwheelers. Building it, like, I remember I first started building it with Xanxus, and we were like, how do we get past the orb? I'm like, well, your shit don't cost nothing to use. Why don't we just use Key Palm and you just chase them around the map, and I'll fairy ring them to below their orb while they're running. Fuck me if it didn't work awesome. So
Yeah, it turned out really well. And I think it's a really interesting use of that environmental as well. Whereas I've never really seen anybody else pull it off in a way where I was like, yeah, that's an effective use of it. I mean, you can almost you'll always make everybody sad laying it down, but I've never seen anybody use it and then take advantage of the environmental really. So I found that impressive as well.
Arsenals by
Putting that
Evo. They'll be
environmental to
coming
work for
out
you.
in bookstores everywhere 2021.
This actually gives me a really good opportunity. I share many memes at your expense, but I will
here it
share this
comes.
one for you. I'll give you a nice one for once. Because I know a lot of players will talk trash on you and make fun of your arsenals and make fun of, how much wacky stuff you do. I've made lots of memes about that myself, but I think quite a few people have this feeling whenever they actually have to come up and play those arsenals that you make.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. Like I was saying earlier, when me and Rise thought that we were gonna have to, spoiler alert, when we thought we were gonna have to play Evo, we were terrified because we were like, oh, that's gonna be either another 3-1 or a 3-0 for them, and so we were just, our hearts sank.
Well, I can't remember if it was the tournament I won or the tournament before that, but I remember they played me and PDDCM in the Swiss rounds. I played Evo and Sandal, and I was still pretty confident going in, but I had a pretty similar thing. I was just like, man, I have no idea what these friggin' nut jobs are gonna pull out, and it was a close match. It was 3-2, and they had some nasty stuff that they did to us in the middle of that. Do you remember what stuff you ran in that one, Evo? I remember
really.
one involved memory lapse.
I don't know. I think memory lapse. What the hell do we run with memory lapse?
You ran a memory lapse versus me on Highway.
Oh yeah, Sign of Saints memory lapse. And you got that bottom spawn. And PD killed Sandal. You got trashed, but PD killed Sandal, and I had a choice between going to make the pickup or shooting a memory or a Sign of Saints from the highway above where the body was being guarded, and it just nicked PD somehow. I don't remember much else though, but yeah, those are fun games. And I like
Well,
playing with
you-
Sandal. Like Sandal throws ideas at me, and I throw ideas at him, and it's awesome that we think alike with our building because we're able to like, well, that won't work. What about if we do this? And you don't find that with other players on Phantom Dust that have janky minds like yourself. Like, I'll throw that shit at PD or at you or Murder, and y'all will be like, that ain't gonna never work. And then we fucking do it. Like, do you remember you were on Zexus's team and we used neutralization, freeze, no, not freeze gas. What's that nature seal that freezes everyone's buttons?
Cold days or something.
Chill breeze.
Chill breeze.
Yeah, we used it on you guys, just scrimming and testing it. And basically, it's an annoying gift, freeze or change the world. And when your teammate is using change the world, you throw a neutralization at them, and so it leaves them unfrozen for you to. And then when they're unfrozen, they throw their neutralization at you, which unfreezes you, and it's just an infinite frozen loop that for 10 minutes, everyone in the game but you and your teammate are frozen nonstop, and you can pop them out. You guys are the only people we ever got it to work with because everyone else rushed us before we could get it set up. And we went back to lobby, and no one said nothing except for Zexus. He's like, please play that in the tournament. Just fucking play it. And it was the greatest feeling ever to pull off something so stupidly janky like that. So that's why
I remember we kind of
tried.
tried because I think you played it once and it didn't work, and then we told you to play it again, and we gave you a little bit of room to set it up, and then figured we'd play it straight from there. And yeah, it was hilarious. It was brutal, and y'all are like, I love Sandal too. I've told him like for 3 tournaments now. I have an open invitation that if he ever wants to play, I'll play with him. Just because I wanted to do the same kind of thing, just have a tournament where all I do is just come up with the dumbest jank with him. And
Yeah,
I think you guys do a fantastic job of it together too.
We were debating before we played our SC in Athens when we were building arsenals. We were like, you remember that 45-minute match between Bregan and Poor Choices? I was like, you think we can beat that? So that was going to be a game plan, was to try and go for an hour-long match, but Sandal decided against it.
I think you got to pick the right opponent to do that versus.
Yeah.
I think Affen would have been a good case, but I think you would have felt bad doing it to War Machine, kind of like kicking a puppy.
Yeah, it was. There was some shenanigans planned for that too.
Man, if only Affen and Choices would sign up together. That's the team to do it to.
It wouldn't even be in game. That would be so funny. It would be the lobby talk afterwards.
All right.
Again? Oh no.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we are done with round 2. So let's get into our predictions then. I'm just filling in some bubbles here. All right. Oh, damn it. I put it in the wrong spot. I'm an idiot. Gotta fix it.
No arguments here.
Wow.
You know what, Evo? You know what you really are. You're just a 2-time partner of Xanxus. That's all you are.
Wow, pull it up immediately, too.
That's right. That's right. That's what you get. I shared a nice meme about you, and then you go and you have to insult me. So I got to break out the big guns.
That's okay.
All right.
Where's
We've had
my
a fun.
meme? The one I did for you.
I got to like share it in 2 parts. I'll do it at the end if you send it again. I'm not going to go dig for it right now. All right. We're going to go from the bottom up on this one. We're going to start making predictions. So let's start with the bottom of the bracket then. We've got Killer Mark and Ska Boss versus War Machine and Affen. Give me who you think is going to win and what the score will be, Alice.
3-2. I don't know from who.
It's going to be a 3-2. Come on, you got to give me a prediction on who wins.
I just want anything to win.
You want Affin to win?
These ones.
Giving him the pity points here. All right, tell me who you think is going to win and why, Schmidt.
I agree that it's probably going to be a 3-2 in my opinion. But I gotta go with Killermark and Skyboss. I think that they can mechanically play better than War Machine and Affin together, and that with that, they're gonna walk through them.
What about you, Evolution?
I'm gonna give it a 3-0 to Ska Boss and Killer Mark.
You copied me.
But Killer Mark is going to disintegrate himself at least twice,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Affin will be the only player in history to have a no-win record and have more losses than actual matches that he's played on record.
Honestly, at this point, like, you got to play for the record. Like, why would you not?
Right.
Be actively, like, trying to railgun your own partner. Like, we're going down in style.
Well, didn't he already do that on accident before?
No, that was Darcia.
Oh.
Don't take that away from him. That is known in Phantom Dust history as the worst tournament play of all time. Nobody's topping it.
Challenge accepted.
For those who might not be familiar with it, Mirage and Darcia. No, it was actually Darcia and War Machine at the time. It's Darcia and War Machine. They were playing on City. I can't remember exactly who their opponents were. I think it might have been like It's Orange Baby and somebody.
Yeah, it was Orange and Affin.
Orange and Affin. All the same
Orange
people.
Baby was trying to make a pickup, and Garcia accidentally railgunned his teammate and then walked off the map and gave them the win.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think Orange even had attacks in his hand. He had like 1 health and he had like a mile-long pickup to make. And Darcia locks onto his teammate, railguns him in the face to kill him, and then just, tumbles off the map and loses the game. Truly epic. If you
we had to replay it like 4 times when casting it.
You've got a job, Evo. Go find that. All
right.
While we continue here. All right, let's make predictions on the next one then. Mirage and Darcia versus Nathan and Wolf. Give me your predictions, Schmidt.
I got it as a 3-1 for Nathan and Wolf.
Bold.
Yeah, I think that Raj and Darcia can win one. But I think Nathan and Wolf, being the fact that they played for 16 years, granted they don't change their arsenals like was said earlier, but I think they'll still be able to play their arsenal solid and push through and just kind of win it straightforward.
What's your call, Alice?
I have to agree with Snow Schmidt.
You think it's
have more
3-1?
Experience, yeah, they have more experience and they have, just that.
Fun fact. You say more experience, but these are both of our longest running teams in the tag tournaments. Both these teams have played together longer than any other existing team. Mirage and Darcia, I think this is their 4th or 5th tournament together. And Nathan and Wolf obviously have played together, for the last 16 years.
There's so many videos.
Well, if you search by like Darcia and War Machine, you should be able to find it.
I have seen some of his matches.
I think that was the first tag tournament or the second tag tournament. If you want, you could also check by playlist. What were you saying there, Alice?
No, nothing more.
All right. Let's see. Eva, what's your prediction on that one?
3-2 Garcia and Mirage. And I say that because they're going to listen to what I say and realize that Nathan and Wolf are going to play the same damn Arsenal.
Oh wow,
I
Bregan.
think it's pretty safe to say that Mirage and Darcia are going to do the same. They tend to run a lot of the same stuff. But their stuff is a little more straightforward. It's not as counterable per se. And I think that their pressure is going to beat Nathan and Wolf because Nathan and Wolf tend to play some cute stuff. And Mirage and Darcia, for the most part, just play straight up. I think if they run their capsule popper, I don't think Nathan and Wolf can counter that, for one. And if they're playing them straight up, I think Mirage and Darcia will outmuscle them. So I'm going to give it to them a 3-1, personally. Although I am more than happy to see Nathan and Wolf give somebody the cane again. Just saying. That was satisfying. Sorry, Affin. All right, and now for the next one, we've got a representative from both teams, so y'all don't get a vote, unfortunately. So Schmidt, tell me about this matchup. We got Evo and Sandal versus Dan and Els.
So I'm actually torn about this.
Who is
match.
going to be Mimir?
That's the thing.
I don't want to know who's going to win. I want to know who's going to be Mimir.
Mimir, I think
Who
it'll
memes
be
harder?
Evo out of spite. And I think he's just going to build for that, just a meme. However, I think that it comes down to who wants to meme more will be the loser of the match. I think that if Dan and Alice build meta straightforward decks and Evo and Sando build nothing but memes,
something Orange Baby is.
which, don't get me wrong, their memes like just may work and completely win. But I think Dan and Alice would have a chance
Orange
then.
Baby and
However,
Darcia
Evo and Sando
trade
build
and
not
both go
straightforward
down.
decks, but the
Darcia
mad
backup,
scientist decks
Bregan
that
narrowly
they always end up
misses
building and
as
just
Affin
pulling
goes to
off
make the
and
next
wiping
pickup.
everybody else off the face of the earth. I think that they have it easily, thinking
That
realistically.
bloody ritual doesn't connect while he's in the air.
So for the actual score of the match, 3-0 Evo and Sandal.
I'm going to give the
Evo
3-0 to
3-0.
the viewers.
Okay, so here's a question then. I want each of you to tease a meme arsenal you're going to run. You don't have to say what it is, but give a tease about it, like a hint about a meme troll arsenal you're going to use against each other.
You're going to get lost in the woods.
Oh.
What do you got? What do you got, Ales?
Trio finisher.
3-0
Only
finisher.
Ooh. That is
Ales,
spicy.
I'll tell you what, buddy. You pick one move that I have to use and base an arsenal around. And one of the maps, I won't say which one, but one of the maps, I will base an entire arsenal around the move that you say.
Ooh.
I think it's only fair if you do the same to each other.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ales?
Just that I'm trio for finisher. Just finisher. I'm gonna use finisher in all those matches.
Maybe the challenge
have a
is then that
finisher
Evo
arsenal.
needs to make a better finisher arsenal.
I have
Yeah.
a finisher arsenal.
That scares
Right.
me a bit.
Uh-huh. I do have one. I've just never used it.
All right, we'll move on to predictions for the next one. We got Madman and Math versus Snowrise and Snow Schmidt. What's your prediction on that one, Alice?
I don't know. Maybe a 3-2.
And who wins?
For Madman and Mr. Math.
Eminem. Why do you think they take the series? What's the difference maker there? Because you're calling it to be close.
I think that the Snows are getting their arsenals they're playing their arsenals better, and they're gonna synchronize better. But I think that Madman and Mr. Math are better.
All right. Eva, what's your prediction and why?
I give it to
The young
Snow
bloods or the
bitches.
crusty old men?
Whoa!
the snow bitches.
Whoa!
If Mr. Schmidt here changes up his arsenal a little bit to the idea that I gave him.
I saw your text.
What's the score?
All right.
3-2?
No. Old men are gonna go to their old folks' home and be geriatrics like they are at a 3-1.
3-1. All right. I'm going to. It's a tough one to call. I'm going to have to give it to Eminem, to Madmen and Math, unfortunately. I think it's going to be close. I think the Snows are going to pull out a couple of good decks and pick up a win or two. So I think maybe a 3-2. But I think they're still going to struggle to keep up with the mechanical prowess of Madman and Math. So I think that'll be the difference maker, is just the experience. Some of the mechanics and some of the experience, because Madman and Math have been playing in high-level tournaments for a long time. So even coming in rusty, they're still a force to be reckoned with. But I think it's going to be, our closest series of this round, personally. All right, next one. We're getting into some of the more spicy matchups now. We've got the rematch, Xanxus and Zexus versus Daffy and Ebony. Do you think it's going to change?
No. No, I don't.
What do you think the score is going to be then?
I think Xanxus and Zexus are going to double team Ebony and pick on his slow build, and Daffy's not going to know what to do when he's the one having to do the pickup, and it's going to be a 3-1.
3-1. What about you, Schmidt? Are we seeing a review or a repeat of last time, or are things going to be different?
I think it's gonna be different. Also, I agree with Evo. I think it's gonna be a 3-1 for Zexus and Xanxus. I think at first they didn't realize that Daffy was gonna be such the pressure person that he is playing in this tournament, and I think they're gonna be able to counteract that. However, that being said, if Daffy and Ebony can some way around that and completely change their playstyle for this rematch, I think it could be a 3-2, but I think that Zexus and Xanxus will still win.
All right, Alice. Does Daffy get his revenge? Or is he going to have to go back into quarantine and cry himself to sleep?
Who was it? Daffy, Ebony versus what? Versus what?
Versus Xanxus and Zexus.
I don't know. The first one was a pretty close one. Yeah, I think 3-2 for Daffy and Ebony.
Oh, so you think they're getting their revenge then?
Yeah.
All right.
You just worry
Well-
about your finisher arsenal.
I'm going to have to go with the majority of the crowd here. I think Xanxus and Zexus have the chops, and they're not going to be surprised this time. And I think Daffy's done fried his brain with his conspiracy theories on Facebook, so I think they're going to take it 3-0. I'm going
Well, you must not
Wow.
have Zexus on your Facebook because he's right up there with Daffy.
That's true. I think Zexus is crazier.
Calling for a 3-0. That's brave.
That's true. Well, I've seen Xanxus and Zexus in enough tournaments. I think they're going to get their stuff together, and I think that they're going to start playing more clean as time goes on. I don't think we're going to see them drop as many games in these later rounds, and I think they're going to start showing it in round 3. And if you don't, fuck you, Zexus.
Wow.
You bastard. Making me be wrong? No, you better go out there and win. Better go out there and win. All right, we're down to our last one. I know everybody's prediction anyway, so let's go ahead and get it out of the way, and everybody tell me I'm going to lose so we can move on.
Evo, you want to start?
Bregan, you're gonna lose. Let's move on.
Pretty much. I mean, even in matchups where I should win, everybody says I'm going to lose anyway. So this is a matchup I should lose, in my opinion.
Well, everyone in the red has lost. On the left has lost so far, right? And Murder and
Yeah, I was
Mario are
joking with you
on the
about
left?
that. Yeah. If you look at the spreadsheet, basically every team that's been on the left on the spreadsheet has lost, except for one match where Kanye and Doom won. So, like, the left side of the bracket is, like, cursed currently. And so Murder and Mario
legitimately-
are on the left side.
Legitimately, I can only give my prediction after I play Murder and Mario tomorrow night.
I think they look like a clean team. I think if this was later in the tournament, because me and PD are still definitely taking off some of the rust, I think it would be a very good and close matchup that as a viewer, I would be super interested in seeing. But right now, not that you've been able to see us, but we've dropped at least one map to mid-table teams twice now, whereas Murder and Mario basically used Kanye and Doom as, replacement toilet paper because of panic buying in the last round. And if you had asked me before round 2 who the best team was, I would have told you Kanye and Doom. And they made them look ridiculous. So I think if you take Murder and Mario's form right now, I think they look like peak top shape, whereas me and PD are just taking off the rust. And so I definitely have to favor them as if I were a third party in this right now. They look so much cleaner.
Yawn.
I mean, yeah, I kind of agree with you there, Bregan. And, I want to be a third party here, but, I mean, I'm definitely in favor of Murder and Mario. But I do think that y'all can pull it out and win one. I think it would be a 3-1.
All right. Giving us the pity 3-1. I think we still have a shot at winning, personally, but I think it definitely has to favor them. What about you, Alice? What's your prediction?
I think it's gonna be a trio for Mario.
You know what? Get the hell out of here.
Wow.
They are
You just
unstoppable.
worry about your finisher.
Oh, here it is again.
They look unstoppable, and we haven't seen any of Bregan matches, so that's suspicious. I don't know.
I agree. That is
Yeah,
suspicious.
it's a little.
I'm having Toretto issues here. I will pull it up right now, and people can see that I'm having Toretto issues. Where's my settings? Let's see.
There's always an excuse.
I can show it on stream. I can't connect to play with anybody on my computer, so I have to go truck my monitor over to my Xbox, hook it up to the Xbox because my TV has frame input lag, and then I have to sit on the floor and play on my Xbox watching on my computer monitor. So I can't record because I imagine I could eventually maybe get Mixer set up, but I've never done it on my Xbox before, and I don't trust Mixer, so I don't even know if I want to go through the trouble of trying it. But right there, you can see Toretto is unable to qualify no matter how many fixes. I spent like 3 or 4 hours one day trying to work on it, couldn't get it to work. And I would feel bad calling like MS support right now when I know all the pandemic going on, so I haven't called in either. So that's why I haven't recorded anything. You have proof.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about the format changes that are being introduced. Unless we see some people come out and say they absolutely don't want it, which so far, the post has been up all day and I haven't seen a single vote otherwise. It'll probably go through. Where did it go? Where's the poll? There it is. It's got like 10 votes for yes and No votes for no. We had talked about doing kind of like a leftover style tournament to go with it, but then instead of doing like a bottom 8 and a top 4, we figured it might actually be more interesting to break it into like 3 groups of 4. So we have the top 4 just like we originally did. That'll be, playing for the actual tournament win, and then we'll have 5th place through 8th place in their own miniature bracket, and then we will have 9th place through 12th place in their own 4-man bracket. To play it out afterwards, just so everybody gets some more matches. And the best part about that is Swiss, ranks you more or less, so that once you get into those matches, it's not going to be, versus a team that is likely to just roll over you. You're going to get an extra match against a similar ranked team, and so you should have a more enjoyable experience with that round. So we're hoping that'll be fun for everyone once we get into that. And I thought we could maybe do some fun predictions. I was thinking we'll do 3 predictions. I want to know who your top 4 teams are that are going to be going into playoffs. And then I want to know who the winner of the middle bracket will be and who you think the winner of the lower bracket will be. So I'll give you a second to think about that.
We don't have enough data with the points to know who's even going to be in the middle and lower bracket.
Well, that's part of what makes it fun, is you're going to call somebody out, they're going to be in the middle bracket, and then they're going to win the middle bracket. So that's what I want to know. You're going to tell me who's in the middle bracket, just that one team, and who's going to win it. So that's part of the fun prediction, is who's not making playoffs and who's going to win it.
All right. Well, based off of the fact that I'm having to go off of some team that got shit on with their points, I'm going to guess I'll be in the middle bracket, and I'm going to say I'm going to win it with Sandal.
That's not a bad prediction. Let's before we get into that one, though, I want to do the top 4. So we'll do the top 4 first, because then it makes it easier to say who's winning in what bracket, because you just say whichever team's not in the top 4, right? So it'd be like your 5th best team, in theory. All right.
So who's in the top 4?
Yeah. Who's going to be your top 4 at the end of Swiss? Why don't you tell me Schmidt first?
All right, so Murder Mario. I think that's kind of a good. I think Xanxus and Zexus are going to stay up there. Depending on how round 3 goes, my final bracket can change. But I think Evo and Sandal can crawl their way up into the final 4. So they'll take my 3rd. Well, they'll take my 4th slot. The 3rd spot, though, that's the one I'm kind of torn about. I think that with the way that things are going now, I think Bregan and PD are going to stay in the top 4, and Ebony and Daphne are going to drop down.
I mean, that'd be pretty similar to what I'm thinking as well. I think our current top 4 is pretty accurate, and then it's Daffy and Ebony versus Evo and Sandal. Mm-hmm. I think are going to be the 2 that are going to be breaking in or out. My round 3 and then potentially who I face in round 4 could be pretty big, but our points are already pretty high after 2 rounds, which makes it difficult to pass us up.
Right.
So I think we'll stick in there, and then otherwise I think Xanxus and Zexus and Murder Mario are both definitely in. And then I'd give myself a 80%, I'd say. What about you, Evo? Who's your top 4?
Murder Mario, Xanxus, Zexus. I think you're gonna. I don't know. I'm up in the air with you versus Murder Mario. I think it's gonna be close, so that's gonna save you, because I think you're gonna lose, but your 4th round opponents aren't gonna be super phenomenal. So I think you'll beat them, which will put you in the top 4. And I think the last one will be. Hope myself, but I'm not gonna pick myself. I'd say Daffy Ebony.
What about you, Alice? Who's your top 4?
I think that 2nd place and 3rd place are gonna be Mario Murder, or rather Xanxus and Zeus. 1st place is gonna be me, so I can choose Evo in fourth place to defeat him again.
At least
Oh,
somebody
you got-
brought some spice.
You
Yeah.
got a tough road ahead of you, Devron. Alice.
All right, then. Who wins the middle bracket once that happens?
Well,
Why
when
don't you tell me?
Alice obviously defeats me, it'll be me winning the middle bracket.
Mm.
What about who do you think wins the middle bracket, Alice?
I think Madman and Mr. Math or Ebony and Daffy is yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, if
One
both
of
of those teams are in there, which one wins?
I think Daffy and Ebony.
Okay. All right. So they're likely fifth best team. What do you think, Schmidt? Who wins the middle bracket?
It's kind of hard to say. I think that it all depends on who makes the top four. Because if Ebony and Daffy stay in the top four, Evo and Sandal, I think, have it easy. And I think if Ebony and Daffy drop down to the middle bracket, I think they have the middle bracket easy. I mean, it's just down to one of those two. And if I had to pick one, because you're calling out of a hole, I would have to say either Sandal's going to stay in the middle bracket and they're going to take it.
That's fair. That's pretty fair.
I have a response to Mr. Alice over here.
Oh, here we go.
Let's hear.
So Alice, you think you're gonna beat me, huh? I want to remind you that Sandal and I, the last time we played together, came in fourth place in a tournament where Monkey and Bregan, Zenxis and Zexus, Gagnon and Math were all in it, and we still managed to beat everyone else and come in fourth. What makes you think that your annoying gift is going to work on us?
You haven't seen the Frighten with the annoying gift?
Hmm.
That combo works.
I know how to
always.
jump a dazzle, sir.
A Frighten?
Ooh.
A frighten too.
All right, let's get to the lower bracket then.
Hmm.
Who wins the lower bracket?
Is the winner really the loser in this bracket, though?
You're all winners in my eyes now.
Everybody gets a $50 gift card. Yay. Who
Sponsored
wins
by
the lower
Bregan.
bracket, Alice?
Who, me?
I said, who's going to win the lower bracket?
I think the Snows. I want them to be in the middle bracket, but it's gonna be hard. So I think they're gonna be the lower bracket. In the bottom, maybe 80.
All right. All right,
Did you say
Schmidt,
Athens?
who do you think wins the lower bracket? Yeah, he said the Snows.
Oh.
Honestly, I think that the people with the best shot, probably Mirage and Darcia. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Mirage and Darcia.
All right, Mirage and Darcia and the Snows. And then who do you think wins the lower bracket, Evo?
I'll go with the Snows.
Man, I think the Snows are going to be in the middle bracket.
I
Y'all
hope we
hating
are.
on the Snows.
I hope
I'm
so.
just trying to base it off of points, like current points. And who's your opponent this round?
Mad Math.
Yeah, I gave you guys a winning score, so that's fair enough then. I'm not gonna counter what I said earlier. I'll say AFN and SC win. Their only win of the entire tournament will be when it doesn't matter the most.
They'll win in playoffs. There you go. They'll have to beat two teams to do that, actually.
I'm still giving it to them.
You think they can win
I'm
twice?
giving it to War Machine. I'm not giving it to AFN.
Poor Effin. He's not even here to defend himself. He didn't ever show up. What a scumbag. All right. Do you have any other prediction topics you guys want to do? Any others that you've thought of?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. You fucking made me search for it. God damn it! There better be a damn good reason. The YouTube video I
What?
pulled up.
Oh, I put it on there. I showed it to people
okay.
earlier.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay. If Murder and Mario either fall off or somebody else, rises up to challenge them, who is your team that you would say is your favorite to win it after them? Like at the end of the tournament, not necessarily if they played this round, but at the end of the tournament, who is your team to beat after Murder and Mario?
Definitely UNPD. I don't care if you guys are rusty. I know what you guys are capable of. So.
What do you think, Schmidt?
Well, I personally think that Xanxus and Zexus are going to play Murder and Mario in the final round. And if Murder and Mario don't win, I think Xanxus and Zexus got it.
Fair estimate. What do you think, Alice?
I am forgetting half of the teams right now. I think the Murder and Mario are gonna win.
Well, the question was if Murder and Mario fall off, or who is the team that you would have as the team to beat after them? Like at the end of the tournament, who's your favorite to win it other than Murder and Mario?
I will say rather Xanxus and Zeus or Ebony and Daffy.
All right, you can still get the hell out. No, I'm kidding. Putting me below Daffy. Damn.
I mean, Daffy and Ebony, they're a team that's...
No, they
putting
have
out
shown
a
up. They
lot.
do look really good. They look good. They definitely play because we've played the same team. They played Killamark and Skaboss, and we played Killamark and Skaboss. And even though you haven't seen it, they definitely played it cleaner than we did. We won 3-1, but they definitely played it cleaner. I think that towards the end of the tournament, though, that we'll be able to turn it on. All right. Any last comments or anything else anybody wants to add before we go?
Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, I think that wraps us up. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and those who have attended Club Baroness. Thank you to Alice, Evolution, and Schmidt. And
Going down, Alice.
have a good night, everyone.